Welcome back to the AXTOR Insurance podcast. Super excited to have another episode. As you can see, the energy in here, it's very nice. Today we're going to talk about something that most drivers and residents in the state of Florida don't really talk about, and it revolves around an actual car accident. I wanted to give you the details, ya que we are in the insurance industry and we deal with this constantly. How many times would you say that we get a phone call from a customer, unfortunately, that had an accident?
I would say like at least 2 times a week, because not everybody gets into an accident every single day.
But you probably answer 2 phone calls. The agency
receives more.
Probably gets
100%.
tons and tons and tons of phone calls with customers that unfortunately had an accident. And I want to talk about a little bit about the dynamic and the things that come behind an accident, because a lot of times an accident is just the start of it. And what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to be pulling back the curtains and talking about the underground actual economy that exists about the car accidents industry, quote unquote. This isn't to scare anybody or to point fingers, but it's more so to help the viewers understand a little bit more about what comes after a crash. And I wanted to point the attention to Leonardo Martinez, and I don't know why he's laughing.
The teacher on English.
Talk to us a little bit about what comes first after an accident, okay? What is that process like? And remember that the objective is to inform our viewers about what could wait for them, because unfortunately in the state of Florida, it's very common to have an accident. A lot of people drive a little bit crazy.
If it's not like a big accident, you always can speak with the other person, if it's something that is...
And what, I'm so sorry. And what sense do you mean speak with the other person?
I mean, if you have a car accident, of course, you don't know the other person on the other car. They probably, even when it's something super small, they want to sue you because, some people are, want to take advantage of the situation. So you basically need to speak with the other person to see, how the other person think about the accident. And if you guys can do like a settlement right there, I will mention that. If it's something like super small, it's better to do a settlement than go and call the company, call the cop, because that's gonna go to your driver record. That's gonna go to your company. The company gonna know that you already have an accident, and that basically gonna affect the price on the next.
The only thing is, and I know what Adrian is thinking right now. Okay, as an insurance agent, we obviously, and we're having an open conversation right now about this topic. Right now, I think you are shedding light on the perspective that some clients have. They're like, let me not call the cops immediately. Let me talk to this person, see what we could settle. But I'm gonna give you an example that Adrian gave me one day. What if you think that you have that person's contact information and you think that you guys are going to have a settlement and they block your number? Is that not what you've told me before, Adrian?
We see it time and time again.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
So
I don't say, when I say settlement, I'm talking about money. Sure.
You mean him? Let me see your proof of insurance. I want to get in touch with your insurance company.
No.
Me? I'm going to give you my proof of insurance.
What I mean is when it's something small, I'm not talking about like money, like, I pay you something. I'm just talking about nothing happened.
You both settle.
You're going your way, I'm going to my way.
I understand.
Because it's something, I see some crash.
Realistically, what?
I see some crashes. It's not, you see the crash and you don't see anything. It's like a little, un rasponcito, but not nada ni siquiera que doesn't even cost $100. I mean, if you go to a body shop, they're probably gonna charge you like $300 because they wanna remove the entire piece.
But what if it was a small accident, like how you said, but then you both shake hands, you both say, I'm not gonna call, you're not gonna call, we're good. But then now what if I go home, I look at my damage, I start thinking about it, and now I call the cops and I say that it was a hit and run and I have your license plate. What do I have to show proof?
That's not illegal.
That's basically illegal.
But since there's no police report, there's nothing tangible that you could see that.
Person, remember that we're living in a day and age where there is cameras in every single corner, every single building, and every single stoplight.
I always say to my client, listen, take pictures. This happened a lot of time. This happened, I think happened like 2-3 months ago to one of my clients. He had a car accident and he sent me the picture. It wasn't any accident. I was like, listen, everything is okay with my car. Everything is okay with the other person's car. But the lady on the other car is like crazy. She wanna sue me. She say that her neck hurt and everything. And I'm like, listen, take a picture, of your car, take a picture of everything, right? And if she's trying to go, you see the accident, you see it's impossible to this person to get injured, the other person get injured. So I'm like, take picture of that, and the company call you and ask you for it, just say the truth. Say that, listen, that wasn't even a car accident. That was like, I just touched, the other person. I just touched. Wasn't anything.
So we could agree.
Crash, you don't see any.
We could agree that photos are good, because photos is what allows you to have proof of what happened, and that way you at least have your evidence. The other side has their evidence, and you both have, your sides of the story. Now, I agree that there's times where there could be communication between both parties, and if there's something very small, you as an insurance agent, you inform your client as to, listen, I know that you might think that the best thing to do is to call the police, but let me tell you what could happen. Your price is going to go up. This price that you have been fighting to get for years, your accident that just wiped out from 5 years ago, now you're going to have another one. Now you put all of that information to them and you let them make an educated decision.
When it's a big car accident, you're trying to protect your client. When it's a small something like this, not even a car accident, you're trying to protect the client, but the driver record of the client. So that's why
100%.
We advise them. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
We advise them. We
advise them to just don't call the police and try to try to settle with the other person, so they don't get any increase on the renewal offer and all that, right?
Yes.
I think that all of the information that we gave is super valuable, but I kind of want to steer the podcast in a little bit of a different direction, to also touch on a couple of different segments that are also very beneficial for the viewer to understand and see and learn. For most people, the event, quote unquote, is the actual car accident, but it's actually the starting point for many businesses, truly, because after, there's actually a lot of different industries that get financial gain from car accidents, and I kind of want to shed a little bit of light into that. We're talking about police officers, tow trucks. We're talking about insurance companies, unfortunately.
Injury laws.
Attorneys, exactly.
Even body shops.
Exactly.
Body shops, of course. And what do you think is, let's talk about the first point of, let's think outside of the box. What's the first point of, or the first industry that actually gets a little bit of a financial gain from a car accident?
The first industry that gets a financial gain, or the first industry involved? Because it could be both. The police officers.
The police officers, 1,000%.
The first ones, they're the first responders. They go to the scene, they evaluate it, they determine who's at fault.
What are the industries that profit off of? I don't. In the first after the event,
I think it's the lawyers.
Well, it would be the tow trucks that he's saying, right?
1,000.
Because if you go police, now you go, okay, now is a car movable? Now the tows, and then from there, it would be
rental places.
It would be the injury lawyers.
Let's not get a.
But no, we're not gonna go ahead. But I don't know. I was just going through the timeline.
Places,
clinics, so 1,000%, 1,000%.
And there's a lot of clinic that being discovered by the by the police that they doing fraud.
What happened with that? Wasn't there one near
Hialeah? Yeah.
Okay, what was it?
That was like basically when I started here 2 months after. It was an explosion. We mentioned that as an explosion. A clinic on Hialeah exploded because they was doing fraud with people. They was basically getting people to have car accident, each other, and then we put a lot of medical payments on your bill. We put a lot of medical payment here. We make a lot of money. We share something. We share a piece of the cake with you, and we take all the money.
So yeah, the fraudulent accidents, and there's videos of those too. You can see them on Only in Date sometimes, and that's what happens with the area.
People basically like doing.
Letting them know. Okay, ready?
Yeah, with a light. Then the crash.
Yeah.
So the first point of profit, in quotation marks, after an accident is the tow truck company. That's actually very important for, it's very important to see who tows the vehicle, because when you see who tows the vehicle, or when you know who is towing the vehicle, you also know, or generally know, where it's going to be fixed, where it's going to be repaired, who stores it, is basically who fixes it, you know, in a lot of cases. And you know what, the other important thing to keep in mind after an accident is how quickly the claim moves along, right? How quickly the claim moves along.
That varies by company.
Yeah, it does vary by company, unfortunately. And why would you say that?
I mean, there's just certain companies, just like, you know, how we know that are standardized and non-standardized. And there's companies who have more, you know, speedy processes when it comes to claims. And there's other companies who are a little bit longer when it comes to pay out those claims. And that's what we try to advise clients beforehand when we're selecting companies, you know, about what are the benefits of this company as opposed to others. And that's why it's good to have an agent that's thorough, because most people are going to be guided by price, but then when they have an accident and they haven't been paid out for 5 months, they're complaining about it, but they wanted to go with that company because they were being guided by price. But if you could have known that if the day of tomorrow, if you had an accident, if you would have paid $15 more, you would have had a speedier process, I'm sure that you would have taken that option. So at the end of the day, it just comes with everything. You know, there's always different processes, different companies, but we definitely know of some companies that are a little bit extensive with their processes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is very important to, of course, we understand the dynamic of after a crash. I mean, I've been through it. I'm sure you've been through it. And Leo actually hasn't been through it because we were just talking about that the other day. But at that moment, it's very crucial and very important to keep as much of a level head as possible and try to not overwhelm yourself, but try to calculate your decisions after an accident, especially with the tow truck company, which is the segment and the part that we were just speaking about. Because like I was just saying, where, you know, who takes the car a lot of times determines who fixes it, where it gets stored, who's going to repair it, etc. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind after you had an accident, God forbid. If you want to meet the best insurance agents in Miami, do not miss our podcast and do not forget to give us a call if you want to save money on your insurance at 305-786-0001, South Florida 1.
You got a car accident, you know, you got any type of injury, even if it's a small injury or a big injury, you have the medical coverage on the policy.
What is the first one?
Which is the $10,000, but when it's like a big accident, you have $10,000, $1,000 deductible in case you have $1,000.
Which coverage? Which coverage? Because you're just saying amounts. Which coverage is the one with $10,000?
PIP, personal injury protection.
Yes, sir.
When it's when it's like a small car accident and you have a small medical payment, they cover you
up to $5,000.
Up to $5,000. So, and after that, I mean, if you have like
who profits
a lot of medical payments, a lot of bills, so you also can go after the other person using the bodily injury liability that the other person has.
And if they don't have any? And if they don't have any bodily injury liability?
You could sue them.
You basically can sue that person. If that person have something like, the person have an asset, like a business or many.
So let's give an example. Let's give an example to our viewers. Right now,
you got into
somebody, let's say you and I are two different cars, right? We have an accident. I have PIP PD, which is basic coverage, and you have
bodily injury liability.
Okay. And I'm at fault. And I crashed you. I don't have bodily injury liability, but you're hurt.
Yeah, basically, what I can do, I can go after your policy. Let's say, of course, if you have a health insurance, you gotta use the health insurance first. Then if it's like something big, you know how the medical bills are. You go to the hospital, it's already like $10,000 just to, you know. So you use your health insurance, then you have your PIP. You have to use your own
PIP. Yes.
You make any suit, so and then I can go after your. After you in this case, if you don't have bodily injury liability, basically I will have to sue you because I'm not gonna pay. Let's say the person is like, I'm not gonna pay, right? Because I wasn't at fault. So they can go after you, and if you don't have that coverage and you have something like, you have a small business that, you know, it's been like 3 years already on the market, I can go after your business and whatever I have to pay, you know, after all my coverage already.
Paid,
right? Pay for it.
Whatever's left.
What is left, your business is gonna pay me for that. So, that's why that is so important. But apart from that, in case you don't have anything, and I'm a good person, right? I don't wanna like sue you because I see that you are a family person, you have kids and stuff like that. You don't have money, basically to pay me. There is another coverage which is uninsured motorist, right? That can pay me an extra.
Your own uninsured motorist can cover what I don't have.
Where you don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So that extra cover can save me, right? And
But if you don't have uninsured motorists, then at that point.
yeah, most of the people, let's be realistic, I would say like 95% of clients doesn't have that. I mean,
Exactly.
we know that things exist.
So the medical industry side to a car accident is actually massive. To
course.
put things into perspective. We have doctors, we have physical therapists, we have chiropractors, we have
Physicians.
neurologists, orthopedic specialists, etc. And many people don't actually realize, but there's a lot of medical treatment that can be done after an accident, and that, of course, it comes with acquisition and acquiring a lot of costs, right? Who is it who profits a lot in the state of Florida, specifically South Florida, off of car accidents?
Injury lawyers. And that comes with the demographic. Because
Isn't it a little bit crazy how once you get into a car accident in the state of Florida, immediately it's like raining phone calls from injury lawyers?
it's basically the same way as when you get a ticket, that you start getting a bunch of ticket lawyer mail. Basically, you are now put on a list, and they're very fast with these lists, and all of a sudden you're getting mail. And now what you didn't think, you didn't have a back pain, you didn't have shoulder pain, but now you see this and they're enticing you to essentially pursue legal action.
And is that recommended
It's not recommended, but
by us insurance agents?
no, of course
Other
not.
industries do recommend
Of
it.
course, but it's exactly how you said, right? The most profitable part about an accident for third parties is the medical aspect of it. So if you are going to receive advice from somebody who's biased because they have financial interests in you pursuing legal action, they're obviously not going to advise you correctly. Who doesn't have a bias? We don't have a bias, because what we want to do is you to maintain your price. We want you to repair your car. We want you to be
Get back on the road.
to get back on the road, and also if you have any injuries, to obviously help you through that and guide you. But we will tell you, and most people won't tell you, that if you do go and give one of those lawyers a calls regarding an injury, and you do go to those therapies and they do pursue legal action, you're gonna get a check of whatever the amount is, but you're gonna repay that back in your insurance for the next 5 years. And most people don't know that. I actually have friends of mine that have been through 1 or 2 PIP accidents, and they don't even have a car right now because it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible for them to maintain an insurance.
I know. I think we do have clients that currently paying $700 for a PIP.
And we're the best price in the market.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, no,
Because they have no other choice.
When I told them that the price that I was able to find is $600, they happy.
Of course.
They saving $150 because they're already paying $850. Because when you are like a lot of PIP claims, I mean, I think with more than 2 PIP,
More than 2 years,
most of the companies
they're gonna say no. Yeah.
won't say no.
So if we were to recommend the consumer something, I think that us collectively, we would recommend you, if you're not injured after an accident, if your neck doesn't hurt, if your back doesn't hurt, if your arm doesn't hurt, please do not go with anybody that's going to tell you that, I'm going to give you this check for $2,500. It's not in your best interest, because you're going to end up paying that money back to insurance companies and possibly
Within the next year. Within the next year, you're repaying those $2,500.
Yeah, sure.
Another industry that obviously profits off of accidents is body shops.
100%.
As we know, a lot of times it's simple. You take your car to the body shop, you get it fixed, boom, done. You pay whatever price you have to pay. But modern cars and modern technology has caused that process to have a little bit more complexity to it, because now it's not as easy as just, let me fix that bumper really quick. No, it's let me go find in China or whatever the country is that actually has that bumper on the market, so that we gotta wait. Sometimes it's not even the insurance company's fault that the claims process or the car fixing process is taking so long.
They're just trying to source the pieces, the parts.
A lot of times it's that. do any other industries come to your mind that actually profit from car accidents, or something that the consumer or the viewer should know about?
I think insurance companies profit off of accidents.
How?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna break this down.
Go ahead.
Because if they have accidents, now that whole area is going to be more expensive. If you have a lot of accidents in this area code, now the cost of insuring that area is higher. Like, are they making a profit? Maybe they're not making a profit, but now they ultimately can, because the prices in that area are going to ultimately go up. So down the road, I would say that they ultimately do end up profiting.
Yeah, but not immediately after an accident.
Not immediately.
That's a loss.
But you understand what I was trying to say, though.
The insurance, it's actually such a big loss for the insurance company that they have to structure their policies in a way where they have something called deductibles.
Of course.
To alleviate a little bit about that loss that they have to pay out, because no, I actually disagree with that.
No, you're right. You're right.
so.
But I completely take that back.
You are correct, because the more accidents that a city or a zip code or a state has, the more the insurance prices are going to go up. So yeah, maybe long term they do see a little bit more profit if there are a little bit more accidents.
But
the
they're
costs
also
are
paying off all the losses, and yeah,
Because look what happened with Progressive.
they had to give back.
They have to pay back, right? So even, like let's say, it's not like an insurance company see that a specific area is having a lot of car accidents, so let's double now, let's put a crazy price right now, because if they do it, they're going to end up paying back. So
And they're probably going to lose clients too. I get what you're saying.
They have a lot of restriction as well. It's not like putting price as putting price. So I think on the end of the day, I think it's the same thing. So because they also, you're making more money on that area, but they're also losing more money on that area.
Because of the losses. You're right. You're
A
right.
lot of people doing fraud, and a lot of people, driving without insurance. And
If anything, what you guys are seeing right now is how open this conversation is and how we're highlighting all sides. Even I just said something that was incorrect, but this is what happens. This is why we're talking about this, because if we have things that we can bounce off of each other, imagine where you're at, and the knowledge that you are looking to acquire and to be informed about. So that's why we're doing this.
And what steps do you think that a driver should take after an accident in order to maximize the probability that it's gonna be a smooth, transition to finally get your car repaired or to get a new car?
Well, you have to get the ball rolling. You have to get the ball rolling, and obviously you have to start killing the clock, essentially. So
Number one, I would say to stay calm.
of course,
Call the police, take photographs.
of course. If we're going from, the foolproof plan,
Yeah,
number one,
the full timeline.
the accident happens. You want to take pictures. You obviously want to get out of your vehicle. You want to evaluate the damage. You want to, see what it is that you're actually, what
Understand where your vehicle is being taken.
exactly.
Being taken by.
Call the cops, so that they can be able to come do the report, determine who's at fault. The moment that you have the police report, you call your insurance agent, you inform them that you have an accident, and you allow them to guide you, because now we're going to do the myth bust.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an accident and you're not at fault, you don't need to call your company. You do not need to inform your own insurance company about that. And that is,
Who do you inform?
you inform the at-fault party's insurance company.
1000%. Where can you find that fault party's insurance company
On
information?
the police report. On the police report, you're going to see the first party that's listed on the police report is always the at-fault party. So you're going to go and look at that information. If you don't know how to get it done, obviously you would reach out to your insurance agent, and we will be able to guide you through that process and let you know, this is the claims department phone number. Call them, say that, one of their insureds had crashed into you, that they are at fault, and you're looking to do a claim against that and to repair your damages. As soon as you get that done, you are now killing the clock. And another thing that I would advise is to just be truthful about what occurred. You do not want to elongate that process because you were caught lying about something.
Oh, 1000%. I 1000% agree with you. Let's put a pause really quick. How do we, Anthony, help our customers? How do we, Lil, help our customers?
With the claim curve.
Let's give the full picture. How do we help our customers at AXTOR Insurance?
Okay, let's do an example. I'm calling you Leo. Leo, I had an accident right now.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Let me go.
Okay.
How do we help our customers? We get a lot of referrals. We do. What's so fun?
No, I was just laughing at how we failed completely right now and you had to do it.
So I would say that at AXTOR Insurance, we help our customers in the following way. We're professionals. We know exactly what we're doing. We're very knowledgeable in the systems and how to work with the insurance companies. We know where to apply, what discounts and which ones that you qualify for. We specialize basically in finding you the best price in the market. A lot of times that comes with a ton of savings. We currently, we have an extremely high closing ratio. For those of you that don't know what that means, is out of every 10 people that come to quote with us, how many of them we actually process policy transactions for? How many we actually sell policies to, right? Why is our closing ratio so high at the percentage of 80%? Basically because of everything that I just said. We're professionals. We know exactly what we're doing. When you give us a call and you give us the current details about your current policy, in our minds, we already know which markets to approach, which insurance companies to approach, because we know which product is going to give you the best price. We make that process as seamless as possible. We help.
I think we're the only company right now
that helps the customers with that. We guide you in every step of the way. If you have an accident, you always want to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Like that, we can guide you in the correct direction. It's, like Anthony said not too long ago, he said, the best thing that you can do is speak to somebody that doesn't have a bias, speak to somebody that doesn't have a financial gain, because of your accident. So give us a phone call, ask us for guidance, ask us for, what we would do if we were inside of that car and it was our car at that particular moment. We're always going to guide you in the right direction and give you details and knowledge that nobody else would give you. And the other part is the renewals. There's a lot of insurance agencies that don't review your renewals with the frequency that we do. Every single 6 months, we're going back into the market and we're searching the market for you to make sure that you're still paying the best price possible, given your current, state. And that's pretty much how we help our customers. We believe that we are the best of the best. We try our hardest to be. And it's important to have an insurance agent on your side that truly cares about the customer, cares about the consumer, wants the consumer to have the best coverages possible, but the most important, at the best price possible.
I don't know if you saw what I saw on right there, a client.
Yeah.
There's something that I want to mention on the podcast. We really want to appreciate every single our client that recommend us their family
and their friends.
That just happened right now. I mean, Adrian have their own computer there, and the website is saying like, hey, a person is said, hey, please reach out to my cousin, and they add the person there, the phone number, the contact information. So really want to appreciate that. And what do you think that happened, Adrian? I mean, because everything that you was basically
everything that I was saying. We get so many referrals and so many customers giving us a call saying, hey, can you help my sister the same way that I helped you? Can you help this family member of mine that's currently having a tough time with his insurance agency or his insurance company? The answer is always yes. We're always open to helping your friends and your family and your neighbors and your sisters and your brothers. We'd be more than happy to provide them with the same excellent service that we provided yourself. I think that we should also say that if there's any consumer or viewer watching this and has an accident, God forbid, give us a phone call. Even if you're not our current customer, we would be more than willing and more than happy to help you and guide you through the process and make sure that it's as seamless and that we could help you out in the best way that we can. We would love to do it. We would have absolutely no problem with that. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to be bringing...
We still mention every time that we're going to invite someone.
But we're going to be bringing very interesting and exciting things to our viewers and our consumers and our policyholders. So we're very excited about that. We'll keep you guys in the loop. Thank you so much for joining and watching. And we hope that you guys have an excellent day and continue subscribing to our podcast.
Yep. Hey, Anthony. Hey, I got a car accident.